They don't want you to know this. 7 things you must do before World War III. Something is happening right now, and most people are completely ignoring it. Across the world, governments are preparing for conflict, economies are becoming unstable, and experts are quietly warning that global tensions are reaching levels we haven't seen in decades. Yet most people are still living life as if nothing is about to change. But what if the next few years look very different from the last 20? What if the systems we rely on every day suddenly stop working? Today we're going to look at 7 things you should do right now to prepare for a world that may become far more unstable than we expect. Fear, not panic, just preparation. Because history shows us that the people who survive uncertain times are always the ones who prepare early. The world is becoming more unstable. Look at what is happening around the world. Conflicts are growing in multiple regions. Major powers are increasing military spending. Global supply chains are becoming fragile. Even governments themselves are quietly advising citizens to prepare emergency supplies. Finland has underground bunkers for over 80% of its population. Switzerland requires bomb shelters in many residential buildings. And countries across Europe have begun updating civil defense plans. These are not the actions of governments that believe the world is completely stable. Why preparation matters. History tells us something important. Wars and crises rarely arrive with a clear warning. Before World War I, people believed Europe was entering a peaceful modern age. Before World War II, many believed another major war was impossible. And before major economic collapses, most people believed the system would simply continue as normal. Preparation is not about assuming disaster. It's about reducing risk in an uncertain world. Preparation number 1, food security. The first thing people underestimate during crises is food supply. Modern supermarkets only hold a few days of inventory. Most food is delivered through complex supply chains that rely on fuel, transport, and stable economies. If those systems are disrupted even briefly, shelves empty extremely quickly. That's why many preparedness experts recommend keeping at least 2 to 4 weeks of food supplies at home. Simple things like rice pasta, canned food, dried beans, long-life milk. These are cheap, easy to store, and can sustain a family if supply chains temporarily break down. Preparation number 2, water. Humans can survive weeks without food. But without water, survival becomes difficult within just a few days. Most homes rely entirely on municipal water systems that require electricity and functioning infrastructure. If those systems fail, clean drinking water becomes extremely valuable. A simple recommendation is storing at least 3 liters of water per person per day for a minimum of several days. Water purification tablets or portable filters can also be extremely useful. Preparation number 3, financial resilience. Another major vulnerability during crises is financial stability. Bank systems rely heavily on digital infrastructure. Economic shocks, cyber attacks, or financial crises can temporarily disrupt access to money. Many preparedness experts suggest keeping a small amount of physical cash at home for emergencies. This doesn't mean abandoning modern banking. It simply means having backup options if systems are temporarily unavailable. Preparation number 4, skills over stuff. One of the most overlooked aspects of preparedness is skills. People often focus on buying equipment, but knowledge is far more powerful. Skills like basic first aid, growing food, repairing equipment, understanding navigation, cooking from basic ingredients. These abilities become incredibly valuable during uncertain times. The most resilient people throughout history were always the ones who knew how to solve problems. Preparation number 5, community. Something many survival movies get wrong is the idea that people survive alone. In reality, communities survive far better than individuals. Strong relationships with neighbors, friends, and family create resilience. Sharing resources, information, and support makes crises far easier to manage. Isolation increases vulnerability. Community increases survival. Preparation number 6. Information. During uncertain times, information becomes extremely powerful. Misinformation spreads quickly during crises. Being able to access reliable information sources is essential. Battery radios, backup communication tools, and independent news sources can help people stay informed if normal communication networks become unreliable. Knowledge allows people to make better decisions. Preparation number 7. Mental readiness. Perhaps the most important preparation is psychological. Fear and panic are often more dangerous than the crisis itself. People who stay calm, think clearly, and adapt quickly tend to navigate difficult situations far better. Preparation creates confidence, and confidence allows people to respond intelligently rather than react emotionally. The reality. Preparing for uncertainty does not mean expecting the worst. In fact, the goal is the opposite. Preparation allows you to live more peacefully, knowing that if something unexpected happens, you're not starting from zero. Throughout history, the people who adapted early always had the greatest advantage. The world is changing. That doesn't automatically mean disaster, but it does mean we should think carefully about how resilient our lives actually are. The question isn't whether something unexpected will happen. History shows us that eventually, something always does. The real question is, will you be ready when it does?